From loss to a new beginning, how the story of the prodigal son can transform your life from rock bottom to redemption. The prodigal son's lesson to reclaim your life. Imagine the following scene. You find yourself in a place that was once familiar, but now feels almost alien. The walls are bare, the silence is oppressive, and with each breath you feel the weight of the choices that brought you here. In your hands, a torn letter, the last reminder of a time when everything smiled upon you, but that you chose to leave behind. The scent of damp earth and the bitter taste of loneliness overwhelm your senses. At that moment, a gentle voice whispers in your mind, what if you could return? Is there still a place for you in what was once your home? Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own life? As if every step you take pulls you further away from what truly matters. Today, I invite you to dive into one of the most powerful narratives ever told, the parable of the prodigal son. But don't just see it as a biblical story. Close your eyes for a moment and place yourself in the shoes of this young man. You received an inheritance, had opportunities, but chose a path that led to ruin. Now you are alone, broken, and filled with regret. What would you do? The story of the prodigal son, narrated in Luke 15:11-32, is immensely rich in lessons about love, forgiveness, and new beginnings. The young man was not a villain. He was simply someone who believed that happiness lay far from home. He asked his father for his inheritance and left for a distant land, where he squandered everything on parties, false friends, and impulsive decisions. However, life has a peculiar way of teaching us valuable lessons. Soon after his departure, the consequences of his choices became evident. The money ran out quickly, and the life of celebration turned into solitude and despair. Hunger struck, and he found himself feeding pigs, longing to eat their food. This was a crucial moment. He had hit rock bottom, not just physically but emotionally. The life he had chosen was nothing more than a distant nightmare of what he once dreamed. In that filthy stable, something awakened within him, the memory of his father. He remembered how the servants in his house were treated with dignity and respect. So, swallowing his pride and fear, he decided to return home, not as a son, but as a servant. He thought to himself, perhaps my father will still accept me as a worker. Meanwhile, his father eagerly awaited his return. Every day he looked into the distance, hoping to see his son coming back. And when he finally saw him approaching, he did not hesitate to run to meet him. This scene is deeply moving. The father did not just welcome him, he ran toward his lost son with unconditional love. Their embrace was more than just a physical gesture, it was a profound declaration of love and acceptance. The father clothed him in the finest garments and celebrated his return with a grand feast. However, the older brother watched everything with resentment and jealousy. He had remained loyal to his father all that time and could not understand why his brother, who had failed, deserved such a celebration. The father's response was clear and full of wisdom. This brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. This statement invites us to reflect on our own lives and how we often become harsh judges of others without realizing that we all have our own struggles. The story of the prodigal son offers us valuable lessons on forgiveness and new beginnings. Forgiveness does not erase the mistakes of the past. It gives us a new opportunity to build a better future. No matter how far you have gone or how many wrong decisions you have made, there is always a place for you to return home. One of the most challenging lessons of this parable is understanding that forgiveness is an active choice. Many times we act like the older brother, judging those who have erred, without realizing that we are all prone to mistakes. Pride can be our greatest enemy on this journey. Another important reflection is on the trap of self-sufficiency. The prodigal son thought he could live without his father's guidance and values. He believed he knew what was best for himself until his choices led him to misery. Now I ask you, what areas of your life are crying out for forgiveness? Is there someone you need to forgive, or perhaps is it yourself that you need to forgive? Reflect on this for a moment. Have you ever felt lost but found a new direction? Share with us in the comments below. What is the greatest lesson you've learned from this story? The central message of this parable is clear. It is never too late to start again. The journey may be difficult and full of challenges, but every step toward reconciliation is a step in the right direction. If you are facing difficulties or feel distant from who you truly are or want to be, remember that there is always an opportunity to turn back. Here are some practical tips on how we can apply the teachings of this biblical story in our lives. 1. Forgiveness and acceptance. The practice of forgiveness. Learn to free yourself from resentment, both toward yourself and others. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it opens new doors to a more promising future. Unconditional acceptance. Give love and acceptance to everyone, regardless of their flaws. 2. New beginnings and determination. Never give up. Even in the face of challenges that seem insurmountable, stay strong. Just like the prodigal son, who found the strength to return home after losing everything. Focus on the present. Instead of being stuck in the past or anxious about the future, concentrate on the actions you can take today to improve your reality. 3. Unconditional love. Be inspired by the Father's love. The father of the prodigal son welcomed him back with unconditional love. Strive to practice this kind of love in your relationships, accepting people exactly as they are. 4. Reflection and learning. Learn from mistakes. Use your failures as opportunities for learning and growth. The prodigal son gained valuable lessons from his poor choices and found a new path. Daily reflection. Set aside a moment each day to think about your actions and decisions, helping to avoid repeating past mistakes. 5. Gratitude and appreciation. Be grateful for what you have. Instead of focusing on what is missing, appreciate the good things that already exist in your life. This practice promotes a more positive outlook. Create positive memories. Invest in building meaningful memories, following the wisdom of the past that encourages the creation of joyful moments. 6. Continuous learning. Learn from life. Absorb lessons from your experiences and from the stories of others. This approach will help you cultivate a mindset of constant learning. Seek inspiration. Allow yourself to be inspired by those who have already applied these lessons in their lives and see how these strategies can be adapted to your own reality. These practices have the power to transform your life, enriching it with love, forgiveness, and purpose. If this message touched your heart, don't let it stay just here. Like this video so that others can also find hope. Share it with someone going through a difficult time and who needs to know that there is a way back. Write in the comments, "I deserve a new beginning," and let this affirmation be your first step toward personal transformation. We are here to pray for you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Remember, it doesn't matter how many times you have fallen. What truly matters is how many times you rise again. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss inspiring content like this.